Hello, my name is Adam Cook and I'm the Head of Acting at Actors Centre Australia. We'd like to tell you today about an exciting new initiative that's been created by the school in collaboration with two esteemed and distinguished writers, Woolfe and Sewell. It's Mastering Creativity and Writing, and it's an exciting new course that we're going to talk to them about. Stephen, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Adam.
So, writing, people think they can do it, but they often need guidance. Can you give me some sense of why it is that this course has come into existence? What need have you perceived that this course should come into existence?
Anyone can write, and most people actually have the desire to write. But what's stopping them is their fear of the writing process and all the kind of associated fears around being a creative person. What we're offering through this course is a way not only of doing the writing, of engaging with the writing, but of understanding the process of writing and understanding themselves through that process. The aim ultimately is not just to be a better writer, but to become a better human.
That's a very distinguishing aspect to a course in writing. Sue, what's your take on that?
Well, I think that's very true, but I also think that a lot of things that people feel blocked by, one of them is their doubts. They think they're not really creative because they haven't had a huge success or they haven't written a masterpiece on the first go. Or just because they don't know how to be creative. They do intuitively, but they don't trust that because no one's ever encouraged intuitive thinking. So they think that the weird, wild things that they think are rubbish, when actually they're gems. And in our course, we teach them to value these gems and how to connect them all together so they find the story that they really want to tell.
And has that been your experience, to embrace the random and the wild?
Oh, the wild, yes. No matter, that's the really wacky things, the sort of things that you judge yourself for and think, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that, that's really unusual. But everyone who invents finds that the outlying things that they think about are the things that after a while become perfectly usual in their thinking, and they give an edge. They make people into their most creative self.
Mm-hmm. That sounds exciting.
Yes, the process that Sue has discovered and named is a process called the lull. She and I disagree, I think, about what it actually entails, but my take on the lull is that it's a way of unleashing the unconscious. I kind of come from that sort of Freudian view, a way of unleashing the unconscious, and that the unconscious is where the creative energies come from. So a lot of what the two of us do is about disengaging the rational, executive, planning part of things, part of consciousness, and writing from word association, free association. So we begin in disorder. We begin with the disgorging of the stuff, throwing the paint onto the canvas, as it were, and then finding from that the order that we eventually end up with. Most writing courses begin with craft and rules and planning, that kind of stuff. We begin with the creative act itself.
And the problem with the rules is people can't silence the critic inside them, and that stuffs them up. Whereas we get them to forget the critic, and therefore they can go anywhere in their minds. And I don't agree with you anymore, actually, because when people go into the lull and they get all this wild stuff out, the lull only seems to be so when you look at the rational mind. What is underneath is this seething activity that the brain actually goes into, and it goes into these different networks, and that's where the richness comes from, and I teach people how to access that.
I think it sounds exciting that you won't agree on everything. I think that's really healthy.
We talk endlessly about this stuff.
Good. So tell me, what do you think that the students who enroll in this course will come out with at the end?
Well, as Stephen says, they'll come out with work that they can show, which is wonderful. They'll come out with knowing for life the creative process, so that often when people have a first big success, they get scared, their creativity dries up, they're what they call a one-hit wonder, very cruelly, but that's because fear dominates. If they know their creative process, they know how to conquer this, they will be set up.
Yeah, and in addition to those things, having the courage to write, having the courage to go into the depths that writing requires, makes you stronger, makes you a stronger human being. But also, every writer who undertakes a course like this, in their mind is thinking, how can this become a profession? Can it become a profession? And we facilitate people's entry into the wherever they want to go. Recently, I heard Mike Jones from Empty Cloud say to a class of writers, anyone who says to you you can't make money out of writing doesn't know what they're talking about. Now, especially in the era of streamers, now is the greatest time in recent history of opportunities for writers.
And there's a real hunger, isn't there, with the streaming services? There's so many more opportunities for work to be created, to be greenlit, and that's an exciting, passionate pursuit for everybody. And I think having access to YouTube will also give them courage and confidence to keep going, because it is a very solitary activity, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, and we try and cultivate a spirit of solidarity amongst writers and a community amongst writers.
Yes, my course is deliberately designed so that they support each other. And we hope that, they not only have each other going out into their whole writing life, but they learn how to contact with other writers. Because they're writing from their unique self, they lose any sense of competition with other people. So it's not combative. So they're actually feeling, when they talk to another writer, they're talking about the process, the experience of writing, not the awards and not the money. Their actual experience, and that's what we've got to share with each other.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. It's about sharing those perceptions, those concerns.
That's right, and that's very bonding and very strengthening. And we want to start a conversation where artists are talking to each other about what it's like to experience the creation of art.
Well, having looked through the prospectus for this course, I think this is a brilliant opportunity for them to have just that. So thank you for talking to me. I'm excited to see what happens with it all.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be great.